Alright guys, today we're doing a mini haul and a mini rearranging of the library. So actually now that I'm looking at it, it's not quite mini anymore, but I've been collecting books over the last couple months, or no, the last month at least. And I know when I'm filming this or when I post this, I will have sort of just put a book haul up, but that book haul was filmed like a month ago. So for the last month I've been collecting books that I've been finding secondhand. When it comes to the rearranging of my current library, I'm not going to change too much around, but I do need to shift some of the shelves around because it's looking very heavy on one side and very light on the other, so we're going to try and even it up. I might fix up this row. Here is my current TBR shelf, even though there are books all over that I haven't read, like majority of these books I haven't read. I want to keep all the books that are an incomplete series down the bottom separate, because eventually I would like to have just a TBR shelf of unread books, but obviously that's going to be years away. So with all that said, let's get right into this video. Also, if you can hear my aircon, I'm really sorry, but it's like a billion degrees in Australia, so the aircon is staying on. You're just gonna have to listen to the hum, and hopefully it's like white noise and it's relaxing. So the first book we're going to start with is Ever Blessed by Olivia O'Flynn. I got this book for $4. It is the Ever Blessed, or Ever, I think, is the magic in this particular world. And I think this is also a sapphic book. And I think it's almost like giving like sea pirate kind of vibes, whether it's specifically like ocean sea or something sort of more fantastical, but it sounded really interesting. I think this one's been doing the rounds and it's very popular, so hopefully I love it. The writing in this is actually really big, so I think this will be a quick book to get through. However, if it is one that has a sequel, then we'll just add it to the list, the TBR shelf that is getting huge. The only book that I bought new in this haul was House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. So I now have all 3 books that are currently out, and I paid $5 for this one. So I kept the receipt so I could remember the price, because the rest of the prices are still stuck on these books. So yeah, I'm going to add this one to my collection, and I've got it here. I've got 3 different books for this entire series. So the first one, oh, actually no, I think the second and third one match. The first one I have is this. I found this one years ago, actually probably when it first came out, because I don't see the white covers anymore. So I don't know if they just don't do them anymore or what the go is with this one. I got that one. And then I have like an ex-library book for the second one, so there's a little bit of glare on it. So these look like they match. So I think these are matching like cover runs. And then speaking of getting sequels, where I've actually got the first book, which is nice, I have God's Grave by J. Christoph. I do have Nevernights actually in the same cover, which is nice, or similar, same cover run. That's exciting. I can't put them all back now. I don't know if I said, but I got Ever Blessed for $5. And then I also got God's Grave for $5 as well. And then actually they're all $5, and this one I got for $5, but this one was new. This is going to be a very chaotic haul, I feel. So I'm sorry in advance. It's late in the afternoon, but I've kind of got the zoomies and I want to do this now. So the next book I got is actually 2 books in one, and it is The Love Wager and Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. I haven't read anything from her. I'm not a particular lover of like YA anymore, just because I feel weird reading about teenagers. So yeah, this one's her adult books, which should be good, hopefully. I do love just a contemporary romance. The only thing about this book though is the Mr. Wrong Number is technically the first book, but it's at the back. So they're just sort of like combined at the back, and I'm not going to be able to find it in time. Yeah. So I would have to read. I mean, I suppose it doesn't matter because it's like an interconnected standalone or something, but I'd have to read the back after the half of the book before the first half. So weird choice, but 2 books in one for $5. So who's complaining? Me. But should I? No. The next one I got is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This one just sounds really good because it says Agatha Christie meets Knives Out in this fiendishly clever blend of classic and modern murder mystery. So I got this one for $4. I've seen it advertised and I think there's a few now in this particular series. So yeah, hopefully it's really good. I also have in a similar look, like type of books. Sorry, my brain was going faster than my mouth could word. But I have similar books, I think, in the Richard Osman like Thursday Murder Club ones. So hopefully I like this style of book, but it sounds like fun. And yeah, so I got it for $4. And then I found A Game of Love and Betrayal by Elena R. Galea. This one was $5. Again, I googled this one because I was like, is this even a legit published book? But it says that it's published or printed by, what was it? Created with Vellum. And then I googled Vellum and it is a way to, it's like a program that converts like Word documents to ebook like layouts. What am I saying? Yeah, so like a layout for an ebook, and then they can actually print from there. And then I was looking up to see if Elena Argalia actually like self-published this book, and it said that she did. So I'm guessing she's sold these herself, but I don't know. But it looks like legit, other than the covers kind of like very much like printed from Google or something. So yeah, anyway, I've got this on my Kindle as well, and I think I got the free ebook on, no, I have this on Kindle and I think I have the free audiobook on Audible as well, or part of the membership. So that one. Look, I'm sorry guys, this haul's like crazy and chaotic, but we're nearly done. And then hopefully the rest of it's a little less crazy, but who knows, probably not. And then I found some Anna Huang books. So these I found at 2 separate locations, and one I kind of just found on a fluke because I was looking for, I saw the Lynn Painter book, and then there was some books that had fallen or been put behind that shelf, and so I thought, oh, while I'm here I'll just sort of fix it up because sometimes I can't help myself. And I found King of Greed by Anna Huang. I have the first 2 books, King of Wrath and King of Pride. I haven't read them yet, but I figured why not, we'll just pick it up. And then I got this one for $4. But previously I'd already found King of Envy for $4. So yeah, I just got lucky and found these 2 on the same day, but just at different op shops. So $4 for both of those. And then following the similar theme of books that I've actually managed to collect most of the series for, I have the Fiancé Dilemma by Elena Armes. This one was $4 as well. Normally the books that I buy are around $2 or $3, so these ones are a little bit more expensive than normal, but it's still a lot cheaper than buying brand new. So $4 for this one. And I have the Fiancé Dilemma, I have the Spanish Love Deception, and the American Roommate Experiment. So I don't know which one of these. I think this is like the sequel to the Fiancé Dilemma, but it's all a part of one of those series, and they're the ones that I've got. So yeah, I was happy to find this one, and for only $4. Then I also found Every Word by Ali Marni. This is a sequel. This is I don't know if she's an Australian author, but it's based in Melbourne. And this one I got for $2. This is the second book of at least 2 or 3 in this particular series. And I see the first one everywhere. And so I was going to buy it. I found it 3 times today. So I know that the first one is out there, but they were all like $4. And as much as I want to read them, they are YA. So I'm not in a rush to get it for $4. I'm going to wait and see if they go on special. Sometimes they'll knock their books down to half price if they've got quite a lot. Then I found The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I've never heard of this one before, but it is a Reese's Book Club book for this particular print. This one was $2. I'd never heard of it before, but it seems like a really cute sort of like, not so much a sports romance, but set around like a sports setting. I think our FMC gets proposed to at a baseball game and basically doesn't want to marry the person that's proposing to her, so gets saved by a guy that's in the crowd and he helps her sort of get out of the stadium. So this one sounded really cute and it was $2, so you can't go wrong. And then the lucky last one, this book I wasn't going to pick up, but I thought I'll give it a go. And it is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I have read the first 3 in ACOTAR, and because it sort of rounded out, what the heck is her name? What the heck is her name? I was going to say Freya, but that's not right. Oh my God. Anyway, so I've read the first 3 in this series. Yeah, and I wasn't going to continue because I'm like, well, that rounded out sort of like that particular story arc for the most part, and I was good to leave it there. And then I found this one, it was $3. It also had the novella there as well, but they wanted, no, actually I lie. I'd seen this around at some other point and they had this book and the novella as well as the first few, but obviously I already had them for $4 each, and I was like, no, I'm not going to pay $4 for those. But then I saw this one and I kind of caved because I'm like, you know what, I might really love it. Although I'm not a big Nesta fan, but we shall see. And then, yeah, this one was $3. Didn't have any of the other books around when I saw this one. It was just this one, so I thought I'll just pick it up. I'm not rushing to read the little novella, so since I haven't found it, I don't really care. But oh, I thought I saw a receipt in here. Oh, I did. Oh. Someone got to a page at 146 and left their thing. They bought 3 books. There you go. So yeah, we've got that one. And that's the last of the haul. And hopefully the last of the crazy kookiness that's going on right now. It's really hot, so I'm going to blame it on the heat. Anyway, let's rearrange the shelves. First I got to figure out what I want to do to the shelves, and then we'll rearrange them. The lighting's going to be terrible. It is 6 o'clock at night, but like I said, I don't know, I've got the zoomies or something. I want to do this right this second. So I'm sorry about the shitty lighting. I will give you an overview of both sides of the shelves, but this side is like looking good. It's all full and well spread out. This side, however, is looking a little rough, so I want to fix that up. I'm just not 100% sure how I want to fix it up yet. So that is something I have to figure out. And then I've got like the stack of books that I just hauled and some that I've just pulled off the shelves. They're falling everywhere. Even more that I've just pulled off. So yeah, let me think about what I want to do, but essentially I want, maybe I've got L, M, N up the top. Maybe if I move L over to this side, M's like a big, H, K and M have like the most, as well as S. the most sort of books with those author surnames. Maybe what I can do is do a TBR shelf that's only incomplete series where I don't have the first book of the series. That was my hip. I'm going to pull off the TBR shelf everything that doesn't have at least the first book, because I can read the first book and decide if it's worth getting the rest of the series like new. Because if I find it secondhand, I'll just buy it because it's cheap. But if, yeah, I don't want to buy new if I've got the first one and I don't like it. So why waste that opportunity of having that cheaper book? So I'm going to pull off anything that, yeah, that doesn't have the first book, or that I don't own the first book. Sometimes I have the first on ebook and not physical. And then go from there, because I think that might limit what I have on my TBR. And then some of them I've got down on that shelf are first books of what's going to be a series, but they've just been released. So it's going to be like years, or a year at least, before the next one is out. So I think we can just mix those in with the letters and then see where we can flesh out the letters for the rest, and if it's worth even having a TBR shelf at this stage, or if I should wait until I've sort of, you know, read through literally any of these books. These so far, I'm missing a few of the Jennifer L. Armentrout books, but I have the first one on my Kindle, so I'm gonna leave those. And then this is a sequel. This is a sequel. This is like a sequel, but it's interconnected, so I don't care about that one. This is a sequel. Oh, this one. Is this the first book? Okay, so Empire of the Vampire is the first book, which I actually have on my Kindle. So realistically, even if I look through the shelves, the stacks here, this book, please don't fall. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. Sorry, my posture is crazy. I only have 5 books that are sequels that I don't have the first book of. And so I don't think it's worth at this stage having a TBR shelf. 5 whole books, I can't count. 5 whole books that I don't have the first in the series for. So I think we'll just get rid of the TBR shelf and just work in everything here into the actual alphabet. So what I'm going to do then is put these with the letters that they need to go with, and then I'll see how many or how much space I need to create from there. So let's do that. So I have this book off to the side because it had contact paper on it, and I pulled contact paper off another book that was sort of coming up, and the book was fine. I pulled it off this book and all the sticky stayed on the book. So I need to try and see if I can get some Goo Gone stuff that's not going to destroy this book. So it's banished, so I don't have to touch it. need to put on the shelf. C is pretty much the same, as is most of this shelf, but G is a little bit more fleshed out. My issue is, because H is such a big, oh, you can't even see me, sorry guys, but H is such a big block of books, and so is K. I don't want them on the same shelf. So if I can maybe put D and C, since A and B have now fleshed out quite a bit up the top. So if I do A, B, C, D on this, or maybe even C, D and E, since E is one little book, and then once I read it, I might not have like an E, depending on if I like this one. This one was kind of like an impulse buy, because it's more just like a contemporary fiction, but I could love it. If not, it'll go in a donate box. So I can move D and E up here, but then I don't want F, G and H on the one shelf. That's my shelf. That's my dilemma. That is the dilemma. Because if I can avoid it, which at this point I can, I don't want to have one letter going over two shelves. But then M is huge over this side. All right, so then on this side, you can barely just see the top shelf. So there's nothing up there in this corner where you can't see. M needs a whole shelf to itself, but now I have nothing on this shelf. So I want to bring all this down. So if I bring that down, and I will not be putting the letters out of order because my brain will not allow that. That's a big no-no. I have two books the same. I just realized, which is so frustrating. Guys, what the heck? Okay, I have the Fiancé Dilemma twice. Normally I save these in my Goodreads, so I don't do this. What did I think I clicked? Because I have the Long Game, which I think is the first one, maybe. Because that's what I'm reading right now, actually. Why then did I not have this? Okay. So this is going in this box here because that's my to donate pile. Okay, anyway, one less book to deal with. That's frustrating. Normally I put in my Goodreads, like my to be read shelf is all of my unread books here, because once I've read them, I record that with a like star rating and a review. Anyway, I'm running out of battery and out of light, so this was supposed to be less chaotic, but it is not. It is not less chaotic. What I think I'm going to do is put this shelf down one, as well as the S's. The S's I'm going to keep on a shelf by themselves, and then I think I'm going to leave this shelf with the same letters. I'm going to do a shelf with just M and N, and then L I'm going to bring over to this side. So then I'll do L and K, which will be a very full shelf. And then keep the rest the same, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should pick this back up tomorrow. Let me charge my camera and see if one, there's any daylight left, and two, if I've got any brain cells left. It's next day. I'm not as overstimulated today. I've got some comfy clothes on. It's a lot cooler today. I have an iced coffee ready to drink. Today's better. We're gonna start the day off fresh. So I had a bit of a think of what I might do with all of these shelves, and I think what I've come up with is nothing. So we're going to try a few different options. first off, I want to move everything sort of down so we can fill this TBR shelf, because we're going to get rid of that, maybe, probably. And then as I sort of integrate all the books, I might have to wipe some of the new ones down and take all the stickers off and everything. So I've got some wipes here. And what I'm thinking, I've got a couple of options, is I move everything down and then we can have 2 empty shelves on each side up the top. And then the shelves that are full will look really full. Or I spread them out and then there's one shelf over behind where you are, which will have very little on it, which I don't love, but it's an option. So we try the 2 empty shelves at the top maybe. I'll start moving things and we'll see where they fall into place. And then I think at the end I'll clean up the books just so that I'm not stopping midway and we can sort of get things moving. But then I'll also be putting them in where they should go alphabetically. All right, let's move everything down. So I'm going to take these off. I don't know if I properly explained, but I have this basket here that is basically going to be books that I'm going to get rid of. So it could be either redonate, or I'm thinking at the end of this year, hopefully I've got enough books in here that I might create my own little free library out the front. So at the moment I've got double ups. I've got a double up of the Fiancé Dilemma, which we found yesterday, which I don't know why it wasn't saved in my Goodreads, but anyway, too late now. And then a double up of Throne of Glass, because I was collecting those second hand and then was gifted the box set. So I have that and the Assassin's Blade. I do carry 2 books in my car, just in case I do come across a little free library randomly on my drive. So yeah, there's books everywhere. I think I've already messed up, because K is here and then I've got about this much left of shelf, which is L here, so that would need to go on that end. And then this shelf is full, can't do much about that. So then to bring a shelf down, I'd have to somehow either get C on this shelf, which it won't fit, or A and B on this shelf, which it won't fit. The reason I didn't particularly want to split up letters is because I don't want double letters. And even though it's, you know, makes sense if it runs onto the next shelf, what it is letter-wise, it's just not perfect. What I might do is just put all the books in order that are still like floating around, and then I'll see if I can shift anything, because I'll get a proper visualization, because most of these are sort of fleshed out where they've got to go. I'm abandoning the 2 shelf idea. I don't know. Am I just going to have a TBR shelf? Alright, I'm kind of back where I started. I'm going to straighten all these shelves up in a sec so they're all central, but let's figure out something for the other side. Alright, I think I've come up with a solution. So what I'm going to do is put the L's, which I've got piled on the floor, LM up the top, NOP maybe on this one. I don't know. We're going to shift it around, but then I'm going to bring the TBR shelf back is basically what I'm going to do. But I'm only going to put those like 4 books that I didn't have the first book in the series and put them like next to Z. I think that's how I'm going to do it. So all of these have to go back up, and then I'll shift these around so they look hopefully not too empty. And then I can put maybe S and T on this shelf, and then W, Y, Z and TBR on this bottom shelf. And hopefully it doesn't look too shit. But we'll find out. We will find out. It's the best I can come up with right now. And you guys are very crooked, sorry about that. I don't know if that's better or worse. Alright, let me shuffle everything so it's centered properly, and then we'll come back. I feel like I've done a full circle and we're right back where we started, but anyway. Done. I don't know that it's going to look all that much different from how we started, but I think what I'll do is on the smaller shelves is where I'll focus. Like for example, on the C I have put my not special editions but new covers of the Cresley Cole books, which I'm slowly collecting as they get released, so they're filling up the space. Behind you the R shelf has very little on it, so I'm going to put some more candles on each side to flesh them out and then sprinkle a few around. Otherwise, I am actually happy with it. I feel like it didn't change a whole lot, but it's enough that it looks a little bit more evenly spaced out. Maybe that's just me and I'm overthinking everything, but I really am liking how it looks. I was going to replace some of the batteries in some of these because half of them don't work, but I don't have enough batteries, so never mind. That'll be another day's project, and then off camera I'll just tidy up all the books that I bought in for that haul. I'll just give them a wipe down, pull the stickers off, and then that way they're a little bit sanitized. But for the most part I don't really do much else. You can put them in an airtight bag and put them in the freezer. That will pretty much kill off any germs that are in there, but for the most part I don't really care. I'm not like licking the books or something, so you know, you just wash your hands, you know, not that difficult a job. But anyway, let's put some of the candles on and then I'll show you a proper overview. Guys, if you stuck around to the end and put up with my craziness, I appreciate you. But hopefully you had a good time watching this video. I'm definitely happy with how it ended up. Even though it wasn't completely different to what we started with, I think it's just a little bit more balanced now, and I think it's looking really, really good. And I can't wait to keep bringing in more books to fill it up so that eventually it's just a full library. So yeah, excited for the future. And as I read through things, I'll start taking out the ones that I don't want to keep and really fill up my donate / little free library pile. Thanks so much for sticking around. Let me know below how you like to organize your books, because as much as I prefer to have everything alphabetical, I do love watching videos where people are setting up their libraries or reorganizing their little home libraries and seeing the way they like to display their books. I do love when they're color coordinated, or you know, got displays because they've got special editions. It's not necessarily how I prefer to collect books, but I love, love, love watching it. So yeah, let me know what you do down below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.